ARK Survival Ascended is preparing for an absolutely packed August, and one of the game's biggest maps is about to receive its final ever major content update. Astraeos is expected to receive an entirely new island called Helianthos, a new underwater area, and the long-awaited Baratos and fixes for the map. There could be an entire hidden underwater land waiting beneath the map, and although we're not sure whether Nekatus is actually going to open the area right now, but I really hope he does. Then we also have the Genesis Galleon, an enormous super fortress capable of supporting more than 300 player built structures, and later in August the Concavenator officially arrives in ARK Survival Ascended as another creature from Garuga's ARK editions. So today we're going to be going through everything currently planned and expected for ARK throughout August, beginning with the final chapter of Astraeos. And before we get into it, remember that some of Astraeos' details are based on development posts, teasers and community replies from Nekatus. And until the complete final patch notes are released, individual features could change, and we don't have confirmation that every hidden area will become accessible yet. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe as it really supports me, and let's get in with the video. So, let's begin with Helianthos. Helianthos is the name of the new island being developed for the final Astraeos update. It has been described as a medium-sized island containing vast mountain ranges, large open landscapes, and plenty of new exploration opportunities. Although it's not being described as another enormous continent, it's a medium-sized island and it can still add a significant amount of playable space, especially if the landscape has multiple elevations, caves, coastlines, and hidden locations. The mountain ranges should provide some impressive locations for bases, alongside potentially more difficult areas to reach and defend. Large open landscapes could also become useful for bigger creatures, land-based exploration, and tribes looking for enough room to construct more ambitious bases. One of the reasons Astraeos has become such a popular map is its visual identity. Every region has been designed around Greek mythology, with huge templates, detailed ruins, islands, and creatures that feel connected to the wider theme. Helianthos should provide Nekatus with one final opportunity to introduce a distant region that expands upon the world. The name itself appears to be connected to the Greek word sunflower, although we still need to see exactly how the meaning influences the island's design. Will Helianthos be a bright and colourful landscape that contrasts with some of the Astraeos' darker regions? Could it be featuring enormous fields and golden environments, or architecture inspired by the sun? At the moment, those questions are kind of questions rather than confirmed details, but the name gives the new island plenty of potential. We also don't know exactly how large Helianthos will feel once we can explore it. A medium-sized island viewed from the air can sometimes appear small, but mountain interiors, caves, and underwater passages and vertical terrain can dramatically increase the actual playable space. And that brings us to the underwater content. A new underwater area is planned as part of the Astraeos expansion. It's not being confirmed right now by Nekatus, but I have visited it using ghost mode on the map. This could be something much more significant hidden beneath the surface. Nekatus has previously shown what appears to be an underwater land connected to Astraeos, and this simply isn't just a trench or a few additional resource locations. From what it has been kind of shown, if you actually ghost mode through, it appears that a much larger environment could exist underwater, with places to explore and bubbles to keep oxygen under there. The major question is whether players will actually be allowed to enter it and explore it. And because this is the final ever Astraeos update, this would seemingly be the last major opportunity to open the region as a fully playable area. But that does not guarantee it will happen. The hidden underwater land could be an unfinished development space, a background area, and part of an inaccessible environment, or something Nekatus originally experimented before changing his plans. In the past, Nekatus mentioned that the Kraken from Astraeos, he actually tested to have it as a boss fight over on the Astraeos map, but he mentioned to us that it just didn't work. Whether that's the truth or not, we'll find out when the update drops. Until Nekatus confirms that this hidden land is opening, we should treat it as an interesting possibility rather than a promised feature. but if it does open, it could become one of the biggest surprises in the entire update. Underwater exploration is an area where many ARK maps struggle to offer the same amount of variety found on land, and Astraeos already has a strong ocean identity, and an entire hidden underwater region could add new base locations, creatures, resources, and dangerous exploration opportunities. It would also work with everything that's happening around ships and Tides of Fortune. Players could travel to Helianthos aboard the new Gallion before diving beneath the ocean to explore an environment that has remained hidden until the map's final chapter. The next major addition expected with the Astraeos update is the Baratos. Baratos is the new fire pig that has been teased for the new map. We still need to complete ability breakdown and final gameplay details, but its fiery design makes it one of the most distinctive creatures expected within this final expansion. Astraeos has introduced several creatures inspired by mythology and fantasy, so Baratos should fit naturally into the map's roster. The big question is how players will be able to tame it, where it spawns, and what practical role it will serve. Will its fire abilities make it a combat-focused creature? Could it provide heat or protection within the colder environments? And will it be useful for harvesting, transportation, or base defense? Those details will determine whether the Baratos becomes something players tame once for their collection or an important creature that tribes use regularly. And with this being Astraeos' final update, hopefully Baratos receives enough utility to remain valuable even after players transfer it off to other maps. I am really looking forward to this, and alongside this, the Gallion is meant to be launching as part of Tides of Fortune. This thing is being designed as an enormous super fortress rather than an ordinary sailing ship. It will reportedly support up to 300 player-built structures, allowing tribes to create elaborate floating bases on top of it. This could mean crafting rooms, storage, living areas, defenses, and potentially enough space to transport creatures and supplies across the ocean. Alongside the Gallion, Studio Wildcard is introducing new technical systems intended to increase the number of player-built structures allowed on ships by up to 4 times, depending on the ship's class. That means the improvements won't necessarily be limited to the Gallion. Other ship classes could receive larger building limits, giving players more freedom when designing their vessels. And this is particularly relevant to the Astraeos map because it contains so many islands and ocean routes. A mobile base capable of carrying hundreds of structures should completely change how some players explore the map. Instead of selecting one permanent location and travelling back after every expedition, a tribe could potentially take a huge portion of its operation along the coastline. And Helianthos could become the perfect destination for the Gallion's first major voyage. Imagine launching the new ship, constructing a complete floating fortress, and sailing towards Astraeos' final island with your tribe. And if the hidden underwater land opens as well, the Gallion could act as a surface base while players investigate the environment beneath it. And of course, the size and complexity of the Gallion will also create some technical concerns. Moving ships carrying hundreds of player-built structures will require the game to consistently track structures, players, creatures, and interactions across multiplayer servers. The launch of Tides of Fortune has already shown how complicated ship systems can be, and with Wildcard releasing several fixes for controls, cannons, repairs, collisions, and other unexpected behaviour, hopefully those early updates have helped prepare the system for a much larger Gallion. And as someone who operates an unofficial cluster, stability is going to be one of the most important parts of the release. So we have to make sure that if Wildcard can deliver the Gallion with stable performance, it could potentially become one of the most impressive buildable vehicles ARK has ever actually introduced into the game. And if you are looking for a community where you can explore Astraeos and prepare for its final update, you can join us completely free in the LoadedCrysis cluster. We have every ARK survival map available with boosted rates, cross-map transfers, and a friendly active admin team. We host regular events, giveaways, and we aim to add every major new map from day one. You can join using the LoadedCrysis Discord link in the description down below, and the Helanthos, Astraeos, and Gallion update aren't the only major pieces of the August content. Because on August 26th, the Concavenator officially joins ARK Survival Ascended. This is another fan favourite from Garuga's ARK editions being introduced into the official game. The Concavenator is a fast, agile desert specialist that can swim through sand with incredible speed. It can launch itself into the air, perform aerial tricks, allowing it to attack and reposition itself in ways that most land creatures cannot. A single Concavenator should already be difficult to catch, but coordinated packs are where the creature could become potentially dangerous. Multiple Concavenators can circle their prey, kick up choking clouds of sand, and attack from unexpected directions. That gives the creature a clear identity based on finesse, movement, and cooperation rather than pure strength. It could become extremely useful for tribes that prefer quick and coordinated attacks instead of simply relying upon the creature with the largest health and damage numbers. I am really looking forward to all of the major content coming in August, because it's not just in August. In September is meant to be UE 5.7. At some point Survival of the Fittest is meant to be launching, Fear Ascended 2026, so much more with the Dragantopia at the end of the year. So let me know in the comments section, what are you most looking forward to with the August editions, and make sure to follow and like for your daily ARK news.